everyone, Joe here from ActionX, and welcome to What's on the Tuber. Welcome back. This is your fifth The Rookie Season 7 episode review. Hope you're doing well. Hope you're staying safe out there in the bigger world. My hair is feeling more floofier than ever. I never have the time lately. I always said to myself, I'm going to get a haircut. I think this is the longest I've been in a haircut in modern days. I think I got my haircut last time before my birthday, so it's been about 4 months growing out this. I don't really, this is going to get shaved. It's just usually, I just never have, a free time to go to my barber and to get a haircut. So, I do apologize if my hair is, looking a bit weird on the whole, I'm not trying to cosplay Brendan. I'm not. He's got a great head of hair, but, I cannot live with that hairstyle every day. I cannot. It's just too much work. Even now, for me, I have to wake up, 3 minutes early just to wash my hair with water, and then to comb it correctly, and then even sometimes by the time I get out the door, it's still wet, and it's winter right now, so it's even worse. So very much of these are Joe problems right now. But back to it. I do apologize for the delay for these week's episode reviews. I had a late shift in my real job, so I was not able to make it back in time for the actual broadcast airtime. I mean, I probably could have made it if I really. No, there probably would have been. Wait, I probably would have gotten here as soon as 10 o'clock hit the dot. But I did hear rumors. I did hear confirmation that we are going to be moving to an earlier time slot, starting in a few weeks. So that would be great. To be able to get me to not stay up until, well, I'm recording this at a normal time, but at least with that one specifically, usually the last few weeks have been they would come at 1 a.m., 2 a.m. in the morning. So I would probably be exhausted by then. So thankfully, thank you, ABC, thank you. But I'm not sure why. I'm pretty sure either high potential or I know Will Trent just kind of came back on the air, so it's got to be high potential wrapping up early, so the airtime is there. Who the heck really knows? I'm not really 100% certain on that front. But back to it with this week's episode. I'm going to say this much. I've been very, not critical, I've just been very much kind of questioning things as we go about with the season. We're kind of past the beginning point. We're kind of within the meat of the season. I also found that it is 18 episodes this season. I don't know why I thought 20. But yeah, no, it will be 18 episodes. So now we hit the first five. We're at the first 5 mark. So we're kind of now well past, the beginnings. So being at this point, I feel like most things have been earned. I feel like some things could have been a little bit developed out a little bit on certain angles, not every angle, just certain angles. And I'm questioning a lot of things in terms of the characters themselves, where we're heading with them, which is, I think, good for thinking that, where can everyone go? I think everyone's doing a great job of keeping things pushing forward, but not feeling a little bit too working the clocks really. I definitely do believe this has been a season where, everyone's kind of being tested. Everyone's kind of dealing with something legitimate, except for Gray. Gray's just there. He's just there to be their sturdy, higher above dad figure to them all, except for Brad. I mean, I don't even know how Bradford and Bradford are to each other. No, I'm confusing myself already. Just context reason, I did not get that much sleep last night because where I was staying at, I didn't go home, but where I was staying at, the cat was very much keeping me up a little bit, so I did not get that much sleep, to be honest with you. Even my quick cat nap didn't help. So I do apologize if I'm swearing my words a little bit. I swear, I'll stop with that. But I did enjoy the episode. I really did. I feel like there's certain things I can't wait to see more of. This definitely kind of made some interesting decisions. And, I think that this is very much a perfect example of a TV show where sometimes one door open, one storyline ends, but then another one just begins right then. So I'm very much interested to see where things are going to be heading when we come back next week. I believe I should be fine. I don't believe I have any contradictions with the next few Tuesdays. I know last time I was a little bit... I think last time I literally made it by the deadline. Was it last week? I think it was last week. Yeah, it was last week's episode review. I think I had to rush to get back home quickly enough. I don't even think I took a shower right away. I think no, I did. I took a quick shower. My bad. I'm more life right now has gotten a little bit. Everything's kind of going rapidly paced that I haven't really gotten a second to really sit down and kind of look beyond. But as I get older as an adult, these days are more common than not, and I do appreciate it. I really, really do. And it's very nice whenever I get to come home and have a brand new episode of The Rookie on. TV's doing really, really good right now. Has anyone seen your friendly Spider-Man show? It's really great. It's a really great show. I would recommend it. We're not doing anything with that on What's in the Two front, but it's a really great show. But with that all being said, let's go through the Butcher recap and talk about this week's episode of The Rookie. So I want to say we begin with Bailey contemplating her notes from Maduro, the assassin who is after Jason. She's still contemplating it. She's still very much, obviously Nolan told her last night that Jason's fingerprints have been caught heading to Utah or Nevada or both of them. So there is a possibility he is on the lam, and that there's great signs that, like, hopefully at least for a while the Jason front is over as he is running away from him. Even though when it LA perimeters, no one will do something about it. But when it comes to this point, it's a little bit more. It's a little bit more problematic. So Noah and Bailey immediately get back to their little what's the word, like playfulness between each other. It's been a while since we've seen it, and it's very nice, very sweet. However, once Nolan leaves out of the door to start his workday, Bailey does decide to text the guy that she does have some information about Jason, and using a burner phone, and that kind of wraps it up on that point for the moment being. I believe we then cut over to Chen, who is in a very professional attire, heading to Ridley's old high school. Want to get some answers about his childhood, about his younger days. See if all the stories that he's been telling her and Penn are lining up. And the guy's kind of a bit like, skeptical about it. He says, like, are we okay? Sure, why not? It's like, I'm not sure if Chen is within her perimeters to do so, be doing this, especially to waving her badge around. I'm not 100% certain on the ethics about it, but she goes in to get her information required, and then we cut over to the current three rookies jogging together, which is honestly really nice. Again, these are like little bonding moments, similar to when Nolan, West and Chen used to have them many seasons ago. And even though, like, I already know some descriptions that we're wrapping up Juarez's time in the I forget the program they're in, the rookie program. I already forgot the official terminology for it. But even though she's wrapping it up, she's still kind of making an effort to kind of, really be close to them, still treat them as equals, because even though they're 10 months behind her, they're still very much, still equal peers, and still bottom of the totem pole, so to speak. And they're just getting to know a little bit more about each other. We're learning a little bit more about Penn, who I don't think we get this detail yet, but Penn has a girlfriend back home. They've been high school sweethearts, and they kind of already planned out this whole future together. But then obviously things happen to him in the Texas police force. So him moving to LA has been like not what they planned, and the hopefulness is that she'll move down here eventually. But it's not just 100% confirmed quite yet. What is the arrangement with that front? And Ridley's a little bit, what's the word? A little bit more like he's not mentally there because of all the things that about Chen calling him out the last time with all the lies he's been holding out to her, and so things are a little bit not so great on some of them, but some of them are thriving pretty well. Then we cut over to Brendan. Who's back over at Mid-Wilshire today. He and Antoinette are continuing the case, trying to figure out what the heck's going on. Harper's also returning today after a day off. She's kind of having some, shadow pains from the jab she received in the last episode. She's kind of already feeling some of those PTSD vibes a little bit. Lopez and Wesley do tell her that sadly the victim they did save the other day did pass away this morning. So technically, Harper's going to be the only one to really be a witness here, but since she never really fully saw him clearly, it really is like we're kind of shooting in the winds here with that front, and most likely that's not going to really do anything on the eyewitness front. So when they clocked back in with Brendan and Antoinette, they did let them know that the forensics came back, and sadly the killer fought way ahead because every single piece of evidence is contaminated with hundreds of DNA samples, considering the fact they threw away used syringes, they threw away all sorts of bodily fluids on the force. So it's going to be really, really hard to ascertain that, and even Wesley proves that if you point any of these in the court of law, the DA is going to immediately, not the DA, but like the defense attorney, he's literally going to be able to tear them apart with their case. So sadly, that is not going to be much usable on that front. So they're kind of a little bit screwed over there. But however, even though that most of these are commonly accessible syringes, there was 4 specifically found in a specific center that is very difficult to get into. And with the connection with Westview, which was the medical center, the psychiatric center they went to in the last episode, it kind of really windows in on the possibility front about that. So definitely it could create at least a smaller glass to look through, but it's not really the best. To be honest with you about that point, not really. But it is still very much helpful on that front. Everyone else's days properly begin. Chen immediately rips into Ridley about like, yeah, so both things you told me and Penn, those were lies. You never had a girlfriend in high school. And I'm like, I think that's the worst insult. We're like, you didn't even get a girl. And I'm just like, damn. And really just taking it as like, and like, Chen does like a little bit of a Tim thing, like, you know what? I'm not going to say it. You're going to say it because I already know. So let's see if you're going to man up and tell me. And then really does become honest and say, okay, yes, technically, neither girls that one nearly passed away and the other one passed away, they were not my girlfriends. They were not. They were just people either I knew from school, or maybe I got on a date with them, but I had no real romantic connection with them. And the reason why he kind of misinterpreted the truth is because he's trying to tell these half-truths to get some sympathy. That he usually does that to kind of, if he gets in trouble at work or in life, that it would at least lessen the blow to him. But now that he's in the LAPD, we're like, you have people like Chen that are going to really, really, really look into things once you kind of start to miss up a little bit. It doesn't really the stories don't line up here. So Ridley does apologize for that. And, he is going to try and make an effort to kind of, tell the truth going forward. But Chen's like, I'm not 100% about that. Not 100% about that, to be honest with you. So where do we go from there? Then I believe we cut over to... Where did we cut over to? I completely forgot. I do remember they do eventually ID one of the individuals that was possible at the in the victim screen. It was a psychiatric patient that could be a possibility. So they go over to his trailer to meet up with him. They call him on the phone, but he starts like making this weird sound. I honestly thought he was like already a victim in progress, but once they expect the vicinity of the trailer, they don't find him. But however, once Juarez hears some very light moans, they find a hatch underneath the trailer, and they find him just hiding with a bunch of syringes. So I'm like, yeah, not already a good sign for our prospectful murder suspect. I believe Bradford and Penn go over to the hospital. They meet up with Gray's wife, Luna, to speak about I think they're talking about the interview. Oh, right, that's how Nolan and Juarez found it. So they go to the hospital to see if there's anyone within the recent frame that was acting a little suspicious. There was a patient that was like really kind of out there for really far out there, so that could possibly be a good place to start. Penn also brings up his old long-distance relationship with his girlfriend, and Bradford immediately shoots that down like, it ain't a relationship, it's just a friend with a Skype call, that's it. And then obviously Luna brings up the fact like, oh yeah, no, he had an ex that he was long distance, and then she ghosted him. And I'm like, damn, still getting butthurt over that after all these years. I want to say... Trying to think where we go here. I know Bailey also goes back to work. She meets up with Luna at the hospital while they're dropping off someone. And she gets a call from Maduro trying to get a little bit more information. And she kind of, hesitantly fills him in on what she knows from Nolan. And he's like, okay. It's kind of weird, kind of sloppy for Jason to be leaving his fingerprints all over, kind of leaving this paper trail that assumingly he's leaving. But however, it's like, well, when people hear my name, they kind of run for the hills. So I'm not totally surprised. So I'll put out some feelers. I'll try and figure out what's going on, see if it's legitimate. So he hangs up on her now that he has this officially this piece of information at hand. They bring that possible suspect back to the station. Brendan and Lopez attempt to interrogate him, but he's far out there. He's in the there's a reason why he's in the loony bin. Let's just say that much. That he needs a lot of special attention. Let's just say that. I forgot what order we go in here. I believe we have the conversation between Chen and Bradford first about Ridley's lies. And while Bradford is honest, he does say, well, we're kind of not in the best position right now to be firing people, especially someone that made social media attention, a local hero. we can't really, now's not really the time to let him go, even for a couple lies. And even Bradford's like, hey, a lot of people here already lie about their lie. Obviously, Chen being who she is, she has a gut feeling about this, but Bradford's like, okay, well, you're the TO, so you got to make these certain calls on your own. You can't really depend on me for that. Ridley comes in as soon as Bradford comes out, and he does once again apologize to Chen about the half lies and everything, that he's really ready to fully commit to his training, that there will not be a single blemish on his record or any incident with problematic merit moving forward. And Chen's still like, not exactly where you want to be with that front. But then after that, we had a whole separate scene where Chen does her own digging on the case, I believe. Yeah, I don't know if it was focusing on one of the victims or the guy they brought up. I completely forgot exactly who she was researching from. And again, I know Chen wants to be a detective. We get it. It's nothing new. And I'm just like, damn, I know everyone wants her to be a detective, but it's just like, we're just not there yet. We're just not. But she's putting the extra effort at least. She pulls up. There is this one individual that was never suspected, but kind of has this connection to majority of the facilities, and could be a potential person of interest. It is a vendor for a snack vending machine company on Glassman that services majority of the areas within the nearby area. So they're like, you know what, worth a shot, and they have to so they're trying to figure out how do we look into him without alerting him, because they don't have any probable cause right now, and they're just like, well, there's only one man we can trust to be the scapegoat. That's none other than Smithy. And I'm just like, Smithy, you are the laziest cop I've ever known, and I still love you. Immediately, as soon as the guy kind of barrels in with a cart full of food, which I've never heard about, it's a clear sign that as much as The Rookie is popular on Hulu, I quote something that Arrow showrunner Mark Guggenheimer said one time: we're a good show, but we don't got the ratings to afford real soda. So if you want real soda, support the show. If you want to see our characters drinking Coke, you're going to support the show. So if you want to see Frito-Lays on The Rookie, you got to support the show even more. That's just how it works. Or maybe they're cheap. Who knows? So as much as they're kind of, close, and I don't even think Smithy even fully knows about the whole stink thing. I think it was just a happenstance of, that he just happens to be the first person to see him, and he says, oh, look at all these new goodies. This is so great. Yeah, so then Harper interjects in, introduces herself. Immediately the guy tries to flirt with her for just a little bit. And, just trying to, introduction. Then okay, I'm working a case. Do you have it to operate in these facilities? He says yes, ironically. And eventually the pleasantries go, this guy, I know he's an actor from another well-known show. I forgot what the name of it is. I think it's Fringe or something like that. I completely forgot which specific show, but from what I hear, he's really good in these sort of fields. Because even for me, not a detective, just an average bystander, this guy's creepy as shit. I don't know what it is about him, about his mannerism. This guy, I wouldn't even trust. 100% this guy, brings up the radars to the tens. And obviously Harper catches on to that. So as soon as she leaves the room officially to get her notebook to work a case with him, she loops in around to Gray, who tries to tell him, yep, no, this is the guy. This has to be the guy. And then Gray's like, interesting. Because this lunatic's about to confess to the whole thing. And he starts confessing, and they arrest him because everything from the case so far matches exactly to what he knows. So at least to the LAPD's front, it's a close and shut. However, Harper says, I got a gut feeling about this. We can't just let this guy go with the win. At least let me try something. And the only one kind of really supporting her vocally is Wesley, who's like, well, y'all can't really afford another fuck up right now. So if there's a possibility that you might have another person involved in this, yeah, go for it. See what that can lead up to be. Harper manages to pull that guy into one of the interrogation rooms, trying to just get casual information out of him, and the guy's immediately looking through the very difficult one view glass. He's just even the voice, even the performance is just this man is playing a facade, and I'm just I don't know how a lot of people that could work with this individual, or not work with him, but work alongside him, can even not detect that this guy is he's a loony. He's a loony. He's not a loony like that. He's a what's the word? Serial looting. Let's just call it that. Eventually Harper starts kind of leaning towards like the pressurement of like I'm got jiving off you, trying to like I'm kind of like trying to figure out exactly what's going on here. And sadly, she can't really interrogate him for because it's a voluntary one, so he's about to leave. But the last line he says, "We're like, I really hope you get this guy because it feels like you're gonna like not gonna lose sleep over this." And I'm just like, I don't know what's up with your brain, dude, but like you don't look at a detective and just like, yeah, I have a feeling you're not gonna let this go. So yeah, we'll just cut it to there. And I'm just like, great, this is the guy. This is definitely the guy. So once everyone kind of reconvenes in the room, they're kind of all in agreement. Yep, this is our guy. This has to be a guy. And like, okay, great. It's like approving an official, deeper look into him. But however, obviously Harper's like, the way he construed this, because like the other patient is now confessing to the crimes that this guy's supposed to Glassman's actions. So now they're kind of figuring out, okay, what can we really do? Considering the fact that this guy's about to take the fall for all these murders, and this guy's about to go away scot-free, possibly going to be able to continue the murders at some point in the future. So in reality, they need to get a little bit ahead of this. They need to really like try to like stop him, but buy some time. So they're kind of in that weird position right now with that front. I want to say from there. Yeah, no, I want to say from there. Yeah, Bailey. We cut back to Bailey. She's finishing up a call, and then she gets a ringer from Maduro, who lets her know like, hey, so those supposed fingerprint sightings, the fingerprint pulls that you saw from the other states. So yeah, so they caught the dude, but it's not Jason. So it turns out Jason must have hired a patsy to kind of leave his DNA eastbound to kind of confuse the people looking into things, because again, he's got the cops as enemies and Bailey and her FDLA as enemies as well. So like now they're like, yeah, no, he hasn't left LA at all. He's still in LA. And just what's the timing that Bailey decides to go back to the truck? She's like leaving the back view to go to the front of the driver's seat, and immediately gets hit by a car, and it turns out to be Jason. And I'm just like, that is just pure coincidental timing right there. Just pure coincidental. So, yeah, that's scary. So yeah, it turns out to be Jason. He takes Bailey in, zip ties her up, and throws her into the back of the car. She fights off her partner and manages to drive away with her scot-free. The guy just comes to barely, and I'm just assuming like, oh great, we're gonna have another kidnapping moment, ladies and gentlemen. However, there's one thing that Jason completely forgot about. Her phone. And then as soon as Bailey's partner comes to, he immediately calls Nolan, immediately lets him know, hey, Jason's got Bailey. You need to go after him now. This is your only chance. And then once Jason realizes, oh crap, she has the phone on hand right now, so it's trackable. He also calls up the girl that we kind of heard about from Maduro a couple episodes ago, and which is the same girl that came over to Nolan's house a few episodes ago when he was doing that whole security system thing. So now it's all starting to come together a little bit, but now Jason's kind of screwed in the pooch right now, considering the fact that they have a way to track Bailey right now, and if he pulls away, it's gonna give them more time to catch him, because he's gonna gotta pull away. He's gonna go into Bailey, who is not fully unconscious, and throw it away. So that's gonna give them even more time to go get him. Or does he keep putting, just wait till they make the switcheroo, get the opportunity to get the phone out, and then drive away scot-free? So it's a lot of different problematic issues right now with him. I mean, going through his mind. Bailey's, obviously, showing him like, hey, I am no longer under you right now. I'm officially out of your control, out of your pocket. So, yeah, so it's best just to get me out of the car. Maybe we can make a plea deal or some arrangement. Your ass is going back to prison. And, Jason obviously still trying to take control of the situation. And this man's just, he's a piece of crap for 100%. He immediately hits her. He immediately tries to knock her out, but it's not really working. Nolan and Juarez are in hot pursuit. The girl's also just on standby. Maduro's also on, like, ready to go to get Jason, to get him killed. Then I want to say, yeah, Bailey manages to get free from her zip tie, and manages to break and dislocate his freaking arm, which I'm just like, damn, Nolan, you gotta catch up a woman right here. You really, really do. So then these two starts tussling throughout. They miss the change point, and they crash into a garbage bin, and while sadly Bailey does get a little bit more unconscious, Jason's also really beaten up to the count. The girl comes out, his new girlfriend, trying to, get her. And, I will say this, but if you're trying to kill her, you do have this, very brief moment to kill her. I mean, I do not, obviously, again, you're in the thrill of the moment, but, you have the gun right there. You could just easily pop one and be done. If that was really your mission, boom. But if there was some sort of dramatic thing you wanted to, I never understood why these these sort of people, which ends up being their downfall. If you're playing around with your victims like that, trying to play around with before committing this horrendous act, you're just honestly you're extending the clock on actual people to come and stop you. So I really don't know. Because literally there was a whole 10-15 second where he could have literally just finished the job and, TV show protection. Main character, lead cast protection, basically speaking. So the two of them just starts to run away. Thankfully, Nolan and Juarez are they're just arriving in. Nolan gets Bailey. They call in for Jason and his girlfriend, hopefully to kind of, intercept them at some point nearby soon. Everyone shows up for backup. They're calling it in. They actually do already have a photo of the girl already, and yeah, it's the same match as the one Nolan found from the security incident just a few weeks ago. Jason and her are still running away. They're still trying to figure out what do we do. Cops are rolling in fast. We don't have a lot of time. They're just trying to figure out what's their next play here. And then Maduro shoots the girl, killing her right away. And yeah, this is kind of, within the kind of it's either LAPD takes Jason or Jason's going to die. Nolan and Juarez go up ahead. They manage to find Jason while he's kind of, pinned down by Maduro. And, yeah, he's kind of once Nolan kind of pulls into the behind the car and he sees Jason, he's like, I need you to come out with your hands up. And Jason's like, no. And this is where I was like, okay, Jason, you should have just stayed under there. Because Nolan would have not killed you. He would, maybe there would have been a point where Nolan tried to kill him, but for, trying to kidnap his wife. But I think Nolan's noble intentions of putting Jason back to prison wouldn't have prevented him to kill him. So I think Jason should have thought that's just been okay, Nolan won't kill me. So as long as I stay under here, I should be fine. But no, the man clearly goes down. He's like, okay, fine. I'm just letting him. Maduro's right, and he's done. Through the rib cage, he's done. The heart, I'm pretty sure the heart got impaled there. I'm not really sure where his heart was. Probably lower down there. But no, he's dead. Jason's dead. He's dead. And Maduro just walks away, puts on a janitor, a maintenance worker uniform, and immediately just walks away from the crime scene, which I'm just like, that's just great. That's just wonderful. Trying to remember where we exactly wrap it up from here. Yeah, so Bailey's in the hospital. She's already been tended to. Nolan delivers her a bunch of presents, a bunch of, lovely gifts for her, and a sparkling water, which I don't know why people like that so much. I really don't know. I tried it before. It's just not my cup of tea. And Bailey's just ready to go home. She's ready to put this all behind her, close a chapter on this. And Nolan's like, yeah, but at least, despite wasn't planned, Jason's gone forever. So there will never be a lingering shadow over us ever again on the Jason front. Which, again, for some people, that is still a victory. Nolan heads out to go hopefully expedite the paperwork so that Bailey can come home tonight. Harper, meanwhile, has one more visit with Glassman, letting him know, yeah, no, I already, your life's been torn apart already. You have no wife, you have no family, you have nothing. So we already know. Well, we don't know exactly. We don't have anything to put you in jail, prison right now. We don't. But we have enough reasonable suspicion to start laying patrol officers on your route. We have undercover agents on you. You will never be able to commit a crime as long as we're around. And until I find a way to prove for everything you've done so far, all the murders, you will be watched. You will not be able to, because this guy, he seems like he needs to kill. He needs to be able to continue going with his actions. And now these constrictions are going to make it even more difficult. So does he say fuck it and still do what he needs to do and take the risk to fulfill his satisfaction? Or does he really suck it up and just great. This was not part of the plan. This really wasn't. And he's still so confident. He's so smug. and he doesn't admit it that he didn't even, he stays completely quiet, but it's just like, damn, like, he's just, I love the actor for this guest star. I really, really do. He just delivers it perfectly. So we're not done with him yet, but he's very much sidebar for a while on his activities. So we'll eventually come back to him down the road. It's in the shift for most of the rookies. Juarez and Penn are ready to clock out, ready to head back home, and Penn also, like, expresses, yeah, no, that he wasn't able to make his Zoom date with his girlfriend. And he's like, look, it's part of the job. She already knows, like, there'll be days where I'll make it. Some days he won't make it. But the important thing is that, there's still a plan. They're going to get there eventually. And, things are a little bit different right now. So, hopefully as time goes on, they'll be able to find a way together, hopefully speaking. So he says goodbye to Juarez. He gets a call from his girlfriend. Eagerly excited because she is not in Texas. She's actually in LA. She quit her job and she's ready to move in with Penn, start their whole new LA life together. And Penn's like, oh no, this was too fast for calm. This was really too fast for calm. Chen loops back in with Bradford again, lets her know that she's done some thinking, and since he is right, this is under the TO's discretion, and she's making the decision because Ridley has made a lot of mistakes so far, that he's made a couple of lies that, again, may seem lying the server, but considering how things are right now, this isn't something they can really be able to afford taking the risk for, that Chen is going to make the decision to suspend and cancel his FTO program journey, which Bradford's like, okay, if that's your call, I'll support it. Let's talk to Gray right now and get that sorted out. However, once they approach the office, Ridley is already coming out with Gray to let them all know that sadly his cancer did come back. However, it's only an early catch, and with enough medication and chemotherapy right now, that there is a possibility that Ridley can continue his FTO program without much interference from the treatment. And obviously with Chen's acceptance, which Chen does say, yes, okay, we'll continue. And obviously, I think Chen just feels bad about the whole cancer front. But how do we know that's not a half truth too? How do we know that? We don't know. I mean, it's really hard to fake something medically, but like, again, it's 2025. Well, 2020 something for them. It's 2025. It's probably possible to like fake medical documents at some point. So I believe from there, I think we ended up back at the hospital. Bailey gets the green light to go home. They're ready to head back. She does forget her jacket. And when Nolan goes to pick it up, he finds the burner phone. He looks into it and sees that she did text unknown number, which he assumes it's Maduro. And with the details about, the movement, which even though that didn't really lead to everything, it kind of led to like the steps of like, well, if Maduro didn't know about that, he wouldn't have been there and Jason would still be alive. So technically Bailey is involved. And now Nolan's kind of like stuck in this like rock and a hard place of like, where do we go from here? So now it's going to create a bit of a conflict of interest right now for him. But we don't know exactly the intent of it because that was the end of this week's episode of The Rookie. Which, again, I really enjoyed. In terms of the Jason front, I like the backstory of like setting up Maduro as a character, kind of, building in the fear between Nolan and Bailey through different regards. I think that was all great. I would have liked it if we would have gotten like a full episode where Jason maybe had Bailey in his custody, and they were having these final showdown. Which again, I still enjoy the way we did because it does showcase like Bailey's growth of like she's not willing to take Jason's BS anymore, especially now that with everything they've been through, that she was able to manage to showcase that like she cannot be pushed around anymore. I do like that approach, and we could still have gotten that, but I really would have liked like Jason was only like here for a scene, and then we wrapped it up. So that's just my personal opinion, to be honest with you. Other than that, this was Jason's goodbye. So, I mean, he wasn't like that much of a mainstay character. He was only there between 4 and parts of 6 and 7. So it wasn't really much to really come to kind of call home about. But it was something that like I was a little bit, hoping to see like a really nice final showdown between them. Which, not to say we didn't, but yeah, and also Maduro, would this be his last time seeing him? I really don't know. That's another side of the story for another day. As for the new serial killer, it was an interesting approach. You know, again, they didn't rush that quickly. It was very much a Harper kind of having this new rival, a nemesis, similar to how Lopez had La Fiera a few seasons ago. So it's kind of like that, where like Harper is dedicating herself now. Like, I will get you arrested. I will put you behind bars. It will take some time, but I will. And the guy, again, being a perfect player, where like he's just like quiet, yet his facial expressions speak volume, which it's kind of a little bit hard to do now. I don't really see that much nowadays with, like, you know, using your facial expressions to really act. In my opinion, maybe I watch too much TV for my own good. But I like that conclusion for now. You know, that it wasn't a real ending, but it was like kind of like, you know, much more of a to be continued down the road, so to speak. And it was always great to see our Feds characters again, even though they really didn't share too much of the spotlight this week. You know, again, like, you know, it's not their show anymore, so they're not going to get that much of a spot. I really hope we can get a Feds renewal some point. I really do. Like, obviously, like we already missed so many milestones with them, so it would be weird to kind of cut back after everything. But like, it kind of sucks. And again, we need Simone to come back, please. You gotta make that happen at some point. That, you know, I know she's busy. I know she just won. Did she win an Emmy or did she win an Oscar? I forgot. She won a prestigious award last year, so she's very busy. Oh no, it was an Emmy. She was in a TV show, so she won an Emmy. But the fact is that she is a phenomenal actress, and she needs to come back. They really like you had someone there, a real contender, and you lost her. You lost her hard. But yeah, I can't wait to see one more. We already had. I already forgot his name. They have the Fed's leader. I forgot his name. Felix. We already had Felix come back. We had Brendan come back. We already had Laura come back, and I already heard like confirmation that Laura is going to come back down the road in the Rookie, so that's great to see. So I can't wait to see more of our Feds characters again. It would be nice to see the others too, but I understand, like, you know, not everyone's willing to play ball to come back, so that's a little unfortunate. But with all being said, I'm giving this episode 2 thumbs up. Let me know down below what you think of this week's episode of The Rookie. I would love to hear your thoughts down below as always. But I believe that's going to do it for me today, everyone. So if you're unaware, this has been What's the Two from ActionX, reviewing every episode in the 7th season of The Rookie. If you want to know what we're doing normally on What's the Two besides our episode reviews, right now we are doing Madlock. Bit of a scheduling change. We might have a review tomorrow. We may not. I'm out for travels in a couple days, so I may not be available to record that episode review. There might be some changes. Who really knows? I'm playing it by ear. It will either be out tomorrow night or Monday night. So kind of, you know, again, be on standby for that one. In a couple of weeks from now, we will be back with Reacher. We will be starting up also Suits LA in a few weeks as well. So stay tuned. We're going to be very busy on What's the Two very, very soon. And I'm very excited to get to it. But if you don't care about The Rookie, you're in luck. We'll be back next week with another brand new episode review. Same original airtime. We will be back to our originally scheduled broadcast. So do not worry about that. But again, till then, thank you so much for watching. Please subscribe if you haven't yet, like, favorite, share if you want to, ring that bell, and follow us on social media. But until we see each other again, thank you so much for watching. Please stay safe out there, be good to each other, and as always, peace out.